Almost everyone has heard of the Titanic, but very few people truly understand what happened that night and why a ship once called unsinkable disappeared into the Atlantic forever. The Titanic wasn't just a ship, it was a symbol of human ambition. Officially known as the Royal Mail Ship Titanic, it was the largest passenger vessel of its time, built to carry over 2,200 people. Created by the White Star Line, nearly 3,000 workers were involved in building this engineering marvel at a cost that would equal tens of millions of dollars today. Standing 10 decks high, Titanic looked more like a floating city than a ship. Its powerful presence was unforgettable, and some even claimed its sound could be heard from miles away. Inside, it offered a level of luxury the world had never seen before. Grand staircases, elegant dining halls, a Turkish bath, advanced electrical systems, and even elevators. For many passengers, it wasn't just a journey, it was an experience. And then came the claim that would define its legacy. This ship would never sink. On April 10, 1912, Titanic began its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York, carrying around 2,200 passengers. Among them were some of the wealthiest people in the world, as well as hundreds of immigrants hoping for a better future. The ship was commanded by Captain Edward John Smith, one of the most experienced captains of his time. To many on board, the journey felt exciting, even glamorous, but no one could imagine what was about to unfold. What most people don't know is that days before the disaster, a fire had been burning deep inside one of the ship's coal bunkers. This hidden fire, though out of sight, had already weakened parts of the internal structure. Despite this, the company chose not to delay the voyage. The ship was fully booked, and canceling the trip would have meant a major financial loss. So, Titanic sailed on. By April 14th, the ship was moving at high speed through the North Atlantic. The ocean was unusually calm, the air freezing cold, and the night sky completely dark with no moonlight to guide the way. Earlier that day, several warnings had been received about icebergs in the area, yet the Titanic continued forward without slowing down. Some believe this was an attempt to arrive early and gain attention in the headlines. Then, at 11:40 p.m., everything changed. A lookout spotted a massive iceberg directly ahead and immediately sent a warning. The crew reacted quickly, ordering the ship to turn and the engines to stop, but it was already too late. The Titanic scraped along the side of the iceberg. There was no dramatic collision, no loud explosion, but beneath the surface, the damage was severe. The section that struck the iceberg had already been weakened by the internal fire, making the metal less resistant to impact. As a result, the collision tore open multiple sections of the hull, allowing water to rush in rapidly. One compartment after another began to flood. Despite being considered the safest ship ever built, Titanic was not prepared for such a disaster. It carried lifeboats for only about half of the people on board, based on the belief that the ship itself was secure enough. As the situation became clear, panic began to spread among passengers and crew. At first, many struggled to believe the danger, but as the massive ship slowly tilted and the freezing water continued to rise, the reality became undeniable. The unsinkable Titanic was sinking. Within just a few hours, the massive ship broke apart and disappeared beneath the icy waters of the Atlantic Ocean. More than 1,500 people lost their lives that night, making it one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history. Beyond the tragedy, the story of Titanic remains a powerful lesson. It shows how overconfidence can lead to disaster, how ignoring warnings can have devastating consequences, and how even the greatest human creations are never truly indestructible. So the next time you hear the name Titanic, don't just think of a ship. Think of the decisions, the mistakes, and the lessons it left behind. And before you go, have you ever watched the Titanic movie? Let me know in the comments. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to like and share it with your friends.